Yes, you are welcome once again to Agri ABC. Today we'll be talking about the most misunderstood plant ever. The most misunderstood plant ever. The first time I came across this plant was during a training in a research institute. The plant was presented to us as a plant with many potential uses and that work is ongoing on the plant. The question is, when will the result of the research be published? The simple answer is, I don't know. The second time I was able to come across this plant was in the riverine community, where the same plant was seen as a threat, as a nuisance, and many people see it as being controlled by a spiritual force. To them, it is a big problem that has virtually no solution. Then I was traveling on a boat, and I took a portion of this problem to myself to study, to analyze, and to find likely use and solution. To me, it has been a wonder plant indeed. Join me as we explore the world of the most misunderstood plant ever, the water hyacinth. Please watch this video to the end and make sure you like it if the content is good to you, if the content makes sense to you. The most misunderstood plant, water hyacinth. That is the botanical name. And when you look at the screen, you can see to your left is the plant with flowers. That one is already matured. And to your right is a plant that is still growing in a very rich water. The nutrient in that water is very rich. You can see it's green. Yes. Let's go on.
Yeah, you're welcome once again to Agri ABC. This is one of our ponds filled with water hyacinth. You can see. So we are going to be showing you how to feed your livestock with this plant. This is an aquatic plant. It spreads very fast. It grows very fast. And this is one of the ways you can reduce your cost of feeding your pigs and livestock like chicken, turkey, and so on and so forth.
Now, what is water hyacinth? Water hyacinth is a floating aquatic plant that has a variety of potential uses, including biofuels, compost, animal feed, and so on and so forth. While not commonly consumed by humans directly, it has been studied for its nutritional value, especially in the context of animal feed or using it as a grain biomass. Water hyacinth is a floating plant. It floats on water. Yes, anytime you see it, everything about water hyacinth is on water. Water hyacinth, like any other plant, has leaves, it has stem, it has roots, but everything is floating on water, and it absorbs its nutrient directly from water. It's not attached to the ground or to the soil. Even if it's on the soil, all its supply, nutritional supply, is directly from the water. Thank you. Let's move on. Common misconceptions about water hyacinth. There are so many misconceptions. There are so many beliefs that are not actually true about water hyacinth, and we are here to talk about a few of them. The first one, there is a spiritual force aiding its growth. This is fable. You know, water hyacinth grows fast, as in fast. Within days, it multiplies. In fact, its production and reproduction is like in the geometric progression, not arithmetic progression. It multiplies fast and faster. So because of this, many people, they will see it as if, how is this thing growing? There must be a spirit controlling its growth. There is no spirit controlling its growth. And one thing is that water hyacinth, because it flows on water, It can move from one place to the other. It can move like 5 kilometers and above within a twinkling of an eye because the waves of the water moves it around. So when it gets to a particular environment and you just see it where it was not yesterday, you'll be surprised. How is this thing growing? How is this thing moving? So it moves from one place to the other, and wherever it gets to, it multiplies very fast. Some people believe there's a spiritual force aiding its growth. That is not true. It is good for nothing. That's another misconception, and always harmful. That's another misconception. Why it is considered as an invasive species in many regions, it has also many beneficial uses, such as water treatment, biofuel production, animal feed, and handicraft. Its impact depends on how it is managed. Water hyacinth has so many uses, both existing and potential. So it is not harmful, but because when we are in an environment where we don't know the use, we see it as harmful because it grows and disturbs the environment. So we see it as useful. Another misconception is it requires soil to grow. It is a free floating plant and does not need soil. That is the fact. It does not need soil. It absorbs nutrients directly from the water through its roots. That is just the truth. It does not require soil at all. Another misconception is that it improves oxygen level in water. This one, we can say yes, we can say no, depending on the condition of the water hyacinth. When generally in science, we know that plants absorb carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen. So any environment where plants are plenty and much, we expect the oxygen level of that environment will be high. This is true. But in case of water hyacinth, when you introduce water hyacinth into the water, when they are yet to be much, we can say that is true. But within the twinkling of an eye, that water hyacinth, it will fill the whole pond, the whole water surface. You can get why it can absorb pollutants. Dense mat of water hyacinth reduces oxygen levels by blocking sunlight and preventing air exchange, leading to fish kills and harming aquatic life. The moment the water hyacinth covers the surface of the water, it will not allow sun to heat the water, one. It will not even allow air to come through the water. It will take the carbon dioxide in and it will release the oxygen outside, not into the water. That is when it is filled up. So it does not improve oxygen level in water. Another one, it spreads through seeds only. This is not true also. Although it produces seed, water hyacinth spread much faster through vegetative reproduction where daughter plants bud off from mother plants, allowing rapid population doubling in this. We will talk about this one later. It can be eradicated easily. This is another another one. Water hyacinth is extremely difficult to eliminate once established. It has rapid growth rates, producing long-lasting seed, and can regrow from small fragments, making control efforts costly and continuous. Water hyacinth, once established, is difficult to eradicate. We must tell ourselves the truth. If it is not much, you can harvest it and clear. But the moment it becomes much, and sometimes too much, applying effort to overcome it becomes another thing entirely. Let's go on. Nutritional components of water hyacinth. 1. Protein. Water hyacinth contain a relatively high amount of protein, often ranging from 10% to 30% of its dry weight, depending on the growing conditions. The condition in which you grow your plant determine the nutrients it possesses. If the water has rich nutrients, especially nitrogen and phosphorus, then you can be sure that the plant will give you rich nutrients. You can see the picture that was shown at the first screen when we started this video. You can see the other one at the right, that it was very green, very beautiful. The other one at the left was matured with beautiful flowers, but it was not as green as the one on the left. That is because of what? Because of nutrients in the water, not because of the plant itself, but because of the nutrients in the water. So when we have good nutrients, we are going to have good plants with high nutrition. Number two, carbohydrates. It also contains a significant amount of carbohydrate, mainly in the form of fiber, which provide energy. The leaf contain higher percentage of carbohydrates, followed by the stem and the roots in that order, as 17.86%, 11.75%, 3.67% respectively of the dry matter. What this is telling us is that the root contains 17, the stem contains 11, and the root. So that is the case with carbohydrate. Fiber. The plant is high in fiber, especially cellulose, which is beneficial for digestion in animals and contribute to its use as fodder. The stem has higher fiber up to 57%. This fiber in water hyacinth is another thing entirely. It can be used for different things. Ha. For lipid, what is lipid? Lipid is fat. Lipid is oil. The lipid content in water hyacinth is relatively low, typically around 2 to 5%, but it can vary depending on the environmental condition, like we said the other time. Let us go on. Nutritional components of water hyacinth continued. 5. Vitamins. Water hyacinth contain vitamins like vitamin C, and in vitamin C, the stem of water hyacinth contain about 2166.1 milligram per kg. This is telling us that what? Approximately 2000 milligram. That is approximately what? 2 gram per kg. That is telling us about what? 2%. 2%. So that's telling you that water hyacinth is very rich in what? In vitamin C. The leaf contains that amount of the dry matter, which contribute to antioxidant properties, and small amount of vitamin D and B vitamins like riboflavin and so on and so forth. Minerals. It is rich in various minerals including calcium like 1%, potassium like 2.5%, and magnesium ranging from 0.17 to 0.58 of the dry matter. Antioxidants. The plants contain phenolic compounds and other antioxidants that may offer health benefits. You see, water hyacinth is very beautiful, is very good if we know how to use it. Iron. The fresh plant is very rich in iron, established. The fresh plant is very rich in iron, like up to 3000 milligram per kg. That is about 3000 gram. That is telling you 3 gram, 3000 milligrams, that's 3 gram per kg. That's about 3% of the plant. Iron content is generally higher in the plant, especially if the roots are included in the diet. It tends to reduce in specific parts like leaves and stems. Drying of the stem also reduces iron concentration. Note that when you dry it, the concentration of iron will reduce. Yes, to about the proportion mentioned, 1221 milligram per kg. Let us continue. Note, please note this. Note this. The root of water hyacinth absorb heavy metals if available in the water. For example, lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, chromium, nickel, copper, zinc, iron, manganese, and so on and so forth. Heavy metals. Many of these metals are commonly produced from mining activities, industrial waste water and effluent, agricultural runoff, and fertilizer residue, pesticide use, and so on and so forth. You see, many of these heavy metals, the residue are not actually good in the body. So water hyacinth, as good as it is, as evasive, as multiplicable as it is, it has one disadvantage. It absorbs everything, every nutrient in the water, it absorbs. So let us continue. Nutrient and compound in the plant varies depending on the environmental condition, plant maturity, and other factors. Hence, it is better to culture your own water hyacinth under good environmental condition so as to avoid contamination, which may be transferred to the animal consuming the plant. At this point, I will tell us a story. There was a time I was discussing with a professor in a university. That professor, maybe one of his research is on water hyacinth, I don't know, but it is very knowledgeable. So while we were discussing, I told him I was working on water hyacinth, and he told me that instead of stressing myself working on water hyacinth, developing it in ponds, that why don't I just go and establish a business in a riverine community when we have water hyacinth in excess, in abundance. He told me that as a good economist, we should site our companies, our businesses in environment where our raw materials are relatively abundant and cheap. He gave his point, but I also gave him my point. I told him I am a businessman, and in business world, I don't do things that will contaminate my business, that will negatively affect the society, and eventually will lead me in trouble. Why? I know what I send to be plants that absorb nutrients directly from water. And the nutrients in water, whether good or bad, water hyacinth will do what? Water hyacinth will absorb it. So what benefit will it be for me to feed my animals, for example, with plants that have heavy metals in them, with plants that have toxins in them? At the end of the day, this plant, the animal that consume this plant will do what? Will transfer the same toxins, the same heavy metals to the human beings that are going to consume the animals, leading to cancer and so many diseases like that. So, my recommendation: cultivate your own water hyacinth under good environmental condition so as to avoid contamination which may be transferred to the animals consuming it. That is my own recommendation. Thank you. As we go on, propagation. Prepare your water space, especially a pond, a lake, a dam, or whichever one. Just make sure you prepare your water space in a good and controlled environment. Fertilize the water with nitrogen-rich manure. Make sure you fertilize the water. Then put water hyacinth removed from parents into the water. Allow these materials to stabilize for about 2 to 3 weeks. You can leave it to about 6 weeks so that it is highly stabilized. Then give room for adequate multiplication before harvesting, and don't harvest more than half the population at once so that the remaining ones can spring up fast. One thing at this point I want us to understand is water hyacinth grows very fast. That's a fact. No dispute about that. So when you put it in water, the moment it is established, you take part of it, you go there the following morning, it fills up. You take part of it, go there the following morning, it fills up. So what am I saying? When your water hyacinth is established in the pond or in water, any water body, it's established, make sure you don't harvest more than 50% at once. Yes, of the population. Don't harvest more than 50% of the population. So that anytime you go there, it will have replaced and reproduced and covered the space again. So that you can always go there and harvest. You can always go there and harvest. And don't have just one water point, one water space. Make sure you have multiples. So that if you go to this particular place today, you go to another pond tomorrow, you go to another pond 2 days after. With that, you discover that you are always there to harvest, and by the time you get there, you see another thing to harvest. That is one good thing about water hyacinth. It's highly prolific. It's just wonderful plant. Reproduction. Majorly, the plant reproduces through vegetative reproduction, where daughter plant buds off from the mother plant, allowing rapid population doubling in days. Though it can reproduce through seed, this seems to be a long-term approach as it takes months before it produces flower and eventually the seed. That is one thing about reproduction. Water hyacinth, within few days, it reproduces by budding. You put one clump there. After a few days, you see it will shoot from the bottom. It will produce like 2 or 3. In few days, it will shoot again. Before you look at it, the whole place is covered up. Depending on the fertility of the water, the plant doubles its population within 5 to 15 days. You can see how wonderful it is. It has been established that one clump of water hyacinth weighing 160 grams can cover 1 meter square within 21 days. Wonderful. If well planned, 5 average size ponds can adequately feed 5 to 30 pigs with optimum results. You can see. You see, water hyacinth is very good. That it has a lot of uses, many uses, out of which one is feeding of animal, that is animal feed. And in this animal feed, I particularly and intentionally pig. Many animals can consume water hyacinth, but I use pig as a case study because pigs love this plant extraordinarily. They consume this plant as if it's their best food. So I use pig as a case study. So if you have like 5 ponds and you make sure your water hyacinth is established in the 5 ponds, just every day go there, harvest from one, feed your pig. The next day, go to the next one, harvest. The next day, go to the next one, harvest. Before you get back to the first one that you started with, the pond will already be covered with water hyacinth. This is wonderful. Let's go on. Harvesting. You see, water hyacinth floats on water, so it's very easy to harvest. Let's watch this video. Let's go on. You can see it floats on water, and it's very easy to harvest. This is how to harvest it. You can see it's very palatable, rich in protein and other amino acids for your animals. Now, uses. Water hyacinth has so many uses, among which are the ones that are listed here. Biofuel, that is production of fuel from organic materials, like production of gas, production of charcoal, production of this and that. Another one is manure, organic fertilizer. Then we have animal feeds, and we have water cleaning. Water hyacinth can be used in any of these. Now we are going to explain each one of them. Biofuel. Water hyacinth can be used in the production of biogas, just like we use any other organic material like cow, poultry, or pig dungs. The waste from cow, poultry, and pigs, and so on and so forth, horse, dogs, anything can be used to produce gas. These are called biogas. Now, steps involved in the production of biogas with water hyacinth. The number one thing is water hyacinth, whether you blend or not, anything that decays will produce gas. Anything, any organic material that decays will produce gas. But for your production and your process to be fast, it's better it is blended. So the first step is to blend the water hyacinth. Then after that, mix the substrate very well. Then pour it to an anaerobic digester and leave for a few hours. What is anaerobic digester? Anaerobic digester is simply an environment that is airtight, where air cannot enter, air cannot go out. So this is a form of environment where this kind of activity will work and be fast. The result from the anaerobic digester is the production of various gases like methane, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide. When any organic compound, organic material decays, the production is the what? The gases like methane, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide. So now you can select the one you need by filtering the other ones out. So when you take the one you need, you filter the other ones. That one, we are not here to discuss that one. What we are discussing is water hyacinth. So in other videos, we'll be talking about this one later. Organic fertilizer. After the extraction of biofuel, the rest is called the effluent. And this can be used as organic manure, very rich in nitrogen and phosphorus. Water hyacinth can be used in mulching, and when decayed can often act as organic fertilizer. That is self-explanatory. Then animal feed. Water hyacinth can be fed directly to animals in raw form. It can be processed into hay and preserved for later use. It can be dried, processed, and included in animal feed formulations. So that is what I sent for you. This one, particularly, I concentrate majorly on this one in this training because the cost of producing and feeding animals these days is unreasonably and unbearable high. It's unbearably high. So we need to tweak our brain, think our head, and make sure that we reduce cost of production. That is one of the reasons I produce this video, to reduce our cost of production, the cost of feeding our animals. So water hyacinth is an option to every animal, but I majorly concentrate on pigs because they love it. Let's go on. Water cleaning. Eutrophication is the process by which a water body becomes overly enriched with nutrients, primarily nitrogen and phosphorus, leading to excessive growth of algae and aquatic plants. This can result in oxygen depletion, harming fish and other aquatic life. You see, when algae and plants grows in water, what happens? They compete with oxygen. They compete with oxygen that is necessary for what? For the fish. Eutrophication can be natural, occurring over centuries, or human-induced, accelerated by agricultural runoff, waste discharge, and industrial population. The latter often leads to problems like algae bloom, foul odor, and the death of aquatic organisms due to low oxygen level. To reduce this effect, water hyacinth can be introduced into such water to clean up the water by absorbing all the excessive nutrients. This is called phytoremediation. So water hyacinth is used for phytoremediation. When there's a problem, we look for remedy. And one thing about science is anything that has to do with plants, we call it phyto. When it deals with animals, we call it zoo. So when we now use plants to solve problems, it's called phytoremediation. Let's go on. These are examples of how we use water hyacinth to feed animals. These are examples. We'll be showing you examples. These are pigs consuming water hyacinth as if it's their best food. These are pigs consuming water hyacinth. They love it. You can see them consuming it as if it's the only food they understand. These are goats. consuming what Hyacinth. You can see. You can see goats consuming what Hyacinth as if it's their best food. So if you have water Hyacinth in your compound, don't waste it. It's to feed your livestock. If you don't have, contact us. We tell you how to do it. We train you on how to do it. These are the references in case you want to read about water Hyacinth by yourself. If you want to do study, you can go through these references by yourself. Go to this website and read for yourself. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Please subscribe to this channel if it has been impactful. Let us continue the discussion at the comment section. Then I would like you to like this video and share it. Please like this video so that you can encourage us to do more and produce video that educates and make this world a better place. You can reach us through this number. It's a Nigeria number, +234 7032050262, or send us an email through this address, agridetailsabc@gmail.com. See you in the next video. Agridetails ABC, the gateway to sustainable agriculture. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you again.